This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence. Alright, so I do have some room for improvement, but it looks like today I'm clocking in at around 120 words per minute. Now, to some, typing fast might seem like a hidden superpower, the secret sauce to double your productivity overnight. And don't get me wrong, there really are no downsides to being able to type quickly, but it may not be as magical as you think. So in today's video, I want to chat more about how I learned to type quickly and some tips for you to improve your typing speed as well. And I also want to chat about how important it really is to type quickly, cases where it might really help and others where it might not really matter that much. Now, I've been putting off this video for a really long time because I wasn't sure how well I could actually explain how I type. I mean, this is something I've been learning over the course of 15 years, so it's not like I just sat down one day and taught myself to type. However, I think it really boils down to two things: technique and practice. And I learned the technique side of things back in 2004, I think. It was this computer lab class, and I remember for an entire quarter in third grade, all we learned to do was type. And actually, now that I think about it, this was probably one of the most valuable skills I learned in all of my schooling. And all I can really remember is that we had these little orange keyboard covers that hid each letter on the keyboard. And we had to do a bunch of different exercises every single day to build the muscle memory to learn where each key was located without looking, also known as touch typing. So if we take a look at how I type, you'll notice that my fingers are always hovering over the middle home row. And I always have my pointer fingers resting on these little nubs on the F and J keys to help orient my hand. This positioning ensures that I can have quick access to pretty much every letter as I type. And over the years since third grade, without even realizing it, my fingers have become trained with the muscle memory to know exactly which finger presses which key. For example, my left pinky only ever clicks Q, A, and Z, and my left pointer finger handles T, R, F, V, and C. Now, depending on the size of your hand and your technique, each finger might press a different key. But the main idea is that you build the muscle memory to know, without even thinking or looking down, which finger presses which key. Now, I developed my typing speed over years, and not out of any innate interest or passion for typing, but rather out of pure necessity. So I went to a pretty competitive high school, and we had to write an essay probably every single week, which amounted to over maybe 1,000 pages worth of papers over a term. And since I spent my high school evenings watching OG YouTube till 1 a.m., I was that kid cranking out my 1,000-word paper the morning it was due. And then, even as a CS major, I had to do even more writing in college. Needless to say, I did so much writing and note-taking in school that I had no choice but to improve my typing speed. And inadvertently, over the course of those 8 years, I increased my typing speed from maybe 60 to 100 words per minute. Speaking of typing fast, one area where speed might matter is coding. And for a lot of us, including myself, we might not have the time or the skills or the patience to code up a website from scratch. But that's why I'm using Squarespace, which is a lovely sponsor of today's video. When I joined Squarespace to build my personal website, I loved the endless selection of template options to create my own individual style, from clean and minimal to bright and colorful. And as a creator, I want to share my thoughts and work with everyone, from subscribers to distant aunties. So I'll definitely make use of Squarespace's blogging tools to better reach my audience. And once I publish my site, hopefully soon, I know I'll have everything I need, from detailed analytics to SEO tools, all from the Squarespace platform. So yeah, Squarespace really has it all. And if you haven't tried it yet, head over to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/harshibar for 10% off your next purchase of a website or a domain. And thank you again, Squarespace, for supporting my channel. Now back to the video. That being said, it's never too late to learn to type or to increase your typing speed. In fact, even over the past 2 months, I increased my speed by about 10 to 20 words per minute. But to me, the real value of being able to type fast boils down to the fact that typing should not be a hindrance to your work. And ideally, your typing speed can match your thinking speed. So if you're looking to become a faster typist, here are 3 tips that'll help you get there. First, learn touch typing. Just like when you're learning a new instrument or a new sport, you can't just jump in right away. You need to have the right form and technique. And the same goes for typing. And nowadays, there are so many different sites that help teach the fundamentals of touch typing. One site that I really liked was Type. I actually recommended this to my mom last year, and she really liked how simple and low commitment the lessons were. I also heard about a site called Harshibar, which is a bit more advanced and helps you increase your speed by focusing on a handful of key combos at a time. Yeah, and then once you got your technique down, it's all about practice. And this isn't going to be an overnight miracle, but even a few minutes of practice a day, perhaps racing your friends on Type Racer or testing yourself on 10 fast fingers, will get you to that faster speed. That being said, the results will only come if you're intentional about your form while you practice, like keeping your hand in the resting position and not looking down at your keyboard. And lastly, you'd be surprised by how much your environment matters for efficient typing. For example, I'm not going to get anywhere close to 100 words per minute while lying down in bed, or if I was hunched over my laptop on the sofa in my burrito blanket. Instead, sitting in an upright position, ideally with a separate keyboard and your screen at eye level, will ensure that you're maximizing your typing speed. And if you got the funds and want to splurge, something like a mechanical keyboard or a monitor can help ensure that you have a workstation that you love, which in turn might make the process of typing more enjoyable. So this is all great, but the real question is, does speed really matter? And I would say in some cases, yes. Most importantly, you can show off to your friends. I mean, why else do you think I'm making this video? And if that isn't good enough of a reason, typing fast can also help with exams, which especially nowadays are conducted online. For example, back in 2017, I had to take the GRE, which is an entrance exam for grad school. I never got into grad school, but I do remember there were 2 30-minute writing sections, which had the most ridiculous questions, like, is imagination more important than knowledge? As silly as those questions were, because I was able to type fast, I could brain dump all of my ideas down in those 30 minutes. And maybe it was my typing speed, or what I actually said, but this helped me score a 5.5 out of 6 on that writing section. And at the same time, my friend was taking the GRE, but he had a typing speed closer to 60 or 70 words per minute. And after the exam, he told me that he couldn't even finish the writing section because his typing speed couldn't match his thinking speed. And as a result, he got a lower score. And there are a ton of other situations where you're under a time crunch and just need to get all your ideas down onto paper. For example, in lecture, you might want to type your notes, in which case your typing speed needs to match the professor's speaking speed, maybe around 120 words per minute. Or when I was a kid, my mom, who was a doctor, would spend hours every single night transcribing her notes. And since she could only type maybe 30 words per minute back in the day, this took ages. So in all these situations where you're not really doing complex thinking and just need to get the work done, having a fast typing speed can only help. That being said, most of the time having a typing speed of 80 versus 100 versus 150 won't really make that big of a difference. For example, a fast typing speed won't help much when coding or even when writing an important email or an essay. In fact, more than typing fast, being able to make use of keyboard shortcuts and avoiding the use of your mouse will make you a lot more productive. Even when I was writing the script, my typing speed dropped from my max of around 125 down to 80, which is probably a lot closer to my actual thinking speed. So yes, in most cases, a fast typing speed can only help. But I think the most important thing is that your typing speed should match the kind of work that you're doing and ideally doesn't get in the way of your work. And yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope that you found it helpful, and I will link all the websites that I mentioned down in the description box. But I'd also love for you guys to share any tips that you have for learning to type fast or touch typing technique down in the comments below. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big like and subscribe. Follow me on social media if you want to. Thank you again, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see ya in the next one.